Welcome back, guys. StarLadder I-League Invitational Season 5, China Qualifier, LGD.Forever Young versus Rock Gaming. This is Game 3, so we are all tied up, one apiece. LFY took Game 1 in absolutely convincing fashion, and then Rock Gaming came right back. Game 2 put together what I think was a fantastic draft. They played it really well. LFY looked a little bit stumped in a lot of ways. If you even go back to the draft, they used up a lot of their reserve time going into the second phase, and just didn't quite manage to run over the game, I think, the way that they were hoping to. So hopefully game face is on for both teams here as we head into Game 3, and we shall have to see how this one plays out. Like I said at the end of the last game, Rock Gaming have already they've already broken the curse. They've already broken the curse of the open qualifier teams in this event. So despite the fact that they came third in the open qualifier, they've actually been the only team to take a game off of an invited team in the main qualifier, which has to feel pretty good for them. This time around, the Elder Titan is going to be banned out. I think pretty sensible. Lots of the same bans, except Razor is going to make it through, and LFY are going to be the ones taking the Death Prophet for themselves this time around. Though Rock Gaming, plenty of opportunities to put pressure on this Death Prophet in the mid lane. It was at Galaxy Battles 2.0. We were seeing a lot of Tusk SF versus this Death Prophet, and it was actually just annihilating Death Prophet. There was basically nothing that she could do in the lane. It was just getting bursted down constantly. There is going to be an Earth Spirit probably helping out the mid lane a little bit, and it is going to be it looks like your Afu Earth Spirit. I think he is absolutely fantastic at this hero, so would not be surprised to see LFY winning the game on the back of a more standard position 4 hero. They could have taken the Nature's Prophet this game if they wanted it, but it looks like they would they're just going to go for something that they feel is safe and stable and try and win the game that way. So Rock Gaming, the question is now, do they take the OD right away? If they don't take it now, it's going to get banned. And alright, Rock instead grab the AA. Also a very nice hero to have against the Death Prophet. They may need to ban like Oracle now. I could definitely see LFY picking that up. Pretty nice sort of pseudo counter or counter against the AA. Lets your cores that are reliant on healing like the Death Prophet actually still be able to heal through the Ice Blast, which is definitely a nice thing to have. But alright, Faceless Void getting banned out. It is a good combo with the AA, though we might be seeing more of a laning combo with the AA than like your AoE teamfight combo. So Rock maybe grabbing like the Wraith King or the Sven or CK or something like that this game to go along with the AA. I think it could actually be quite a good CK game here. So we'll see what they opt for. And Rock Gaming just going to get rid of some team fight. Neither team really all that heavy on the team fight just yet, so there could be a big advantage waiting for whichever team is willing to add a little bit more team fight superiority to the lineup. We saw LFY take just have some weirdly executed fights in the previous game, so if they can just guaranteed have better team fight than the enemy team, I think that would be very helpful. And we will see that SF ban that I was talking about can be somewhat troublesome for the Death Prophet to play against, especially with the assist from the Tusk. So, and I think also the Shadow Fiend in this kind of situation is a hero that Earth Spirit would struggle somewhat to gank, because the Tusk can always make the counter gank happen, and then SF's just gonna blow your head off with raises.
Turn to pick.
I like the Abaddon ban. LFY do seem to like those kind of more like annoying in-your-face offlaners for Inflame, though they could pick his Batrider in this situation, and I don't think Rock would be all that well equipped to deal with it. Though LFY might just pick their position 5 here.
5 seconds remaining.
I still think the Oracle is decent. Witch Doctor's still in the pool. Bane's still in the pool. There's a ton of great position 5 options here. Other options for the offlane for LFY could be the Puck. I think that's still decent. They are probably going to leave Monet's hero until last pick. I think that's a pretty sensible choice. Don't know exactly what that's going to end up being, Terrorblade is on the table for both teams, honestly. I only mention it for LFY since I do think it is a nice carry to have against the Ancient Apparition. Don't really care so much about the Ice Blast. Rock don't really have much AoE control just yet, or many ways to clear the illusions. So I think there is probably quite a lot of discussion going on in the LFY camp in terms of how exactly they're going to approach this game, especially because Rock have left things so open. You kind of have to think one step further ahead, right? You're like, okay, if we pick Terrorblade, then how are Rock going to counterpick us? Like, if we pick TB, then do we have to be worried about Tinker? Oh, well, maybe if we pick TB, or maybe if we're planning to pick TB and we're afraid of Tinker, then we should pick Batrider or something now that can threaten to kill the Tinker, and then we'll grab our TB later. Or maybe we just want our 5. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. And LFY, it's a single elimination qualifier. You have to win the whole thing to make it out. So very, very important that they win this game.
10
I guess we'll have
seconds
to
remaining. LFY's turn to
So now Rock Gaming, okay, they just kind of go for the Batrider counter pick. Definitely a very annoying hero for the Batrider to lane against is the Weaver. Doesn't really have any kill potential on him at all. Weaver also really good with the Chilling Touch. Chilling Touch plus Geminate Attack is actually just a disgusting combo. And I think Rock have also given themselves the opportunity now to potentially go aggro tri-lane. Could pick up another good sort of tri-lane core, leave the Weaver to 1v1 the Bat, or even just pick another good matchup against the Batrider, and the Weaver could be part of the tri-lane. Weaver is potentially a little bit difficult to play this game against the Earth Spirit and the Death Prophet. You're probably going to buy a Lincoln's against the Bat, but then there's 2 AoE silences that can still catch you, so it's not a completely free Weaver game. And I am actually a little bit surprised that Rock Gaming snap-picked that Weaver so quickly, because I don't know. I guess we'll see. LFY definitely going to pick their 5 here. Ooh. Dark Willow. Okay.
LFY's turn to
The Bramble Maze is definitely super annoying for Weaver. I think this hero is very strong in general, so looking forward to seeing it here. Damage is maybe a little bit lacking on the LFY side to be able to shut down this Brewmaster, so
10 seconds
I
remaining.
like that pick from Rock Gaming. Gives them some more
5
early fight,
seconds remaining.
which is definitely nice. But LFY still have the opportunity to pick a very strong position 1 to still have that kill potential against the Brew. Could see that CK that I've been talking about. I think the Terrorblade's still an okay option, but maybe not completely ideal.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
But so the other nice thing in this game for LFY is that the Dark Willow can kind of take a little bit more farm priority. Earth Spirit, one of those sort of hybrid position 4, position 5 heroes where he is the position 4 in the sense that he's the roaming support, but he can be the position 5 in terms of overall, sort of overall farm priority. And Rock Gaming, I don't like this very much. But they are going to round out the lineup with the Medusa. So they got some synergy there. They got, Split Shot, and then they got the Weaver Bugs and everybody, but they've now picked 2 relatively slow heroes as their 1 and 2 positions. Weaver can go and fight early on, so maybe I'm selling him a little bit short. And like I was saying earlier, he does have good synergy with the AA, but picking Dusa when LFY still... Wait, what? Why TA? For what purpose? So it's safe lane Death Prophet, and they're going for the TA mid. Interesting. I don't know if Super is saying, like, hey, TA annihilates Medusa mid lane somehow. So just pick me TA and I'll win us this game. But This is a little bit strange. It's nice and fast, gives them some Roshan potential that they didn't really have before. The burst damage is potentially quite nice against the Brew. LFY don't necessarily have the best ways to control a Templar Assassin in this game, though the Drunken Haze is definitely going to be annoying. I don't know. But they should be able to play quite fast-paced this game. Like, I can definitely see Afu hanging around down bottom, helping out Inflame, maybe getting some kills on the Tusk or the AA down there. The TA should do just fine mid. Death Prophet's going to get pretty much a free lane up top. And then they should be able to 5-man from there pretty quickly. Fast Deso on the TA, something like that. But we'll have to see. Anything interesting happening on the rock side? Not really. Anything interesting item-wise? Nah. DDR just the Orb of Venom. Alright, LFY a little bit earlier to get out here and plant down their wards, blocking out the small camp. LT very defensive position for his dire obs, and immediately comes over with the sentry, and we'll be able to get the D ward, handing that last hit over to Shining. That's nice.
30 seconds to battle.
But yeah, looks like Afu, well, he wanted the pressure up here at top, but maybe a little bit more difficult now that the AA does have access to his pull camp. I don't know if they've just watched, maybe they looked at some of LFY's games before and just have seen Afu do this rollout to come and plant that Observer ward early on, but they were no hesitation about that D ward.
The battle
Looks like there's going to be the 2 bouncy runes apiece. No quad bouncy rune shenanigans for Rock this time around. And Medusa queuing up some pretty standard stuff on the mid lane, but does goof the block, so that's a nice start for Super. I'm interested to see how well this matchup is going to go, because, I mean, this was the last pick. They must feel like this is a really good TA game, and I guess we'll just have to see from Super. Get that first CS. Yeah, alright, nice. If he'd missed that first CS, that would have been a little bit comical. I mean, I don't think it would have been that bad, but still. Batrider already copying some harassment up top. Shining letting him know who's boss, but unfortunately Afu is already absconded with the waves, so just gonna try and connect this together. Lets 2 creeps go forward, so he's gonna get these denies. The range creep deny definitely very important. At least they made doing the like Fada pull a bit more difficult, where you just denied the range creep. That was mega obnoxious, but still very nice.
Radiant's top tower
Mid
is under
lane
attack.
Dusa. I wonder if against the TA you get an early point in split shot, just to try and deal with the refraction charges, like hit off the creeps onto the TA potentially. Oop, looks like speed missed uphill there. Unfortunate. I imagine the Dusa becomes quite vulnerable in this lane once the TA gets level 6. DDR hasn't really done anything just yet. He's just been trying to alleviate some of this pressure up on the top lane. Though I don't know if they want to be taking away too much experience from the Weaver in this situation.
Denied.
Brewmaster doing alright in terms of experience. Gonna come in here and interrupt the pull through, or at least try. Yeah, picks up the Cursed Crown as his first point. Hasn't really used it just yet, it looks like. Bounty rune coming up. Yao, can he steal this? Nicely timed on the Cursed Crown. He's gonna go for the double. Alright, that was very well done.
Invisibility.
You know, not a huge play in the grand scheme of things, but still pretty nice. Dusa 4 CS behind, copping quite a bit of harassment already at mid, and Afu, sensing that there might be some regen or something getting delivered, is going to come and try for the courier snipe. He spots it. Looks like he is just going to have to settle for grabbing it on the way back. But that is going to be a second Wraithband delivered for the Dusa. Still has 2 tangos. Courier is going to be very easily picked off. So, no kills just yet for Afu, but the courier snipe probably even better than a first blood at this stage. LFY losing control of their bottom wave a little bit. Gonna instead just try and go for the Brewmaster kill, but looks like he should be fine to walk it off. Still wants to stay in experience range as best he can. Inflame about to ding level 3, so a bit behind the Brew. And this is actually pretty... this doesn't look great that LFY have lost control of this bottom lane so hard. And I thought Inflame was fine, but that's the power of the 2 points Chilling Touch plus the Weaver. He gets absolutely shredded. Over at mid lane, Super manning up, going for DDR. Speed's a little bit low, just watching from the high ground. Monet just gonna go for some treads. What's the build actually gonna be here? Treads into a drum. Nothing too shocking. A little bit unusual for the Death Prophet. I would say that the majority of people prefer the phase boots, but I would guess that he's gonna go treads drum and then get the 50 damage talent. Inflame trying to farm up this double wave, but it's only 1 point in Firefly and 1 point in Sticky, and it looks like Shining is actually more than content to come over here and hunt for him. They know that Inflame does not have a TP. He's going to have to try and head all the way into the enemy base. Looks like he's actually just going to stick himself up here on the high ground. Oh, these pins. Afu's dying to some neutrals elsewhere, but Fat Rider really stuck inside the enemy base and does get finished off. He's going to get some damage on the tier 1 up top in the process, but I don't know if that was really worth it for Inflame. At least he doubled up the wave some more, so once he TP's back in, he'll actually get a decent amount. Alright. Super already level 5, gonna have his phase boots soon. He's got the Ring of Aquila. I like the way that he's playing this lane. He's really just shoving it in super hard, keeping the Medusa pinned up underneath her tower. He's actually doubling up the Medusa in terms of CS. And about to grab that level 6. LT and DDR are gonna try and come in and help out, but they do need to be careful. Afu is in the neighborhood, though still only level 1 on the Earth Spirit. So begging Super to share a bit of experience with him. And LT comes over, does get a nice ward up on the high ground there. And alright, Inflame now gonna come over and reap the benefits of that suicidal dive into the enemy base. Brewmaster almost has level 6. They could potentially bring these two supports down to bottom and grab a kill with the Brewmaster ultimate. Yao find this kill along with Afu. Brew in some trouble. They get the kick back. Nicely done with the Boulder Smash. They've still got the Bramble Maze. It's not going to connect onto anything, but I think the auto attacks will be enough to finish this. And when he does grab the kill, they look for the TA at mid. Super in trouble. Doesn't have the refraction for another 5 seconds. He was going on speed, but DDR and LT, great patience. They waited for that, found their opportunity, and got the kill. So able to start turning this mid lane around just a little bit. Though speed still pretty far behind. Only just now ticking level 5 while Super is already level 6. And they want the Brewmaster once again. Afu rolling in from behind. They're gonna get stunned up, kick back into the waiting arms of the Death Prophet, but did they have enough damage here? That's the question. Afu actually just gonna try and... Afu trying to escape, but just gets right-click down, and now Shining also rotating in. Monet does have 15 wand charges, fairly tanky after he pops those. And Shining just gonna send him all the way back to the tower. Can they stick around to actually take the tier 1? Looks like probably not. Brewmaster a little bit low, and Monet able to just keep on farming. Where is Medusa at the moment? Oh, well, in her natural habitat over at the Tri-Camp. Waiting for that shrine. And Inflame, very happy that nobody is up here at top. Gonna grab some farm, put some pressure onto the tower. I think a bit of a weirdly timed pull from LT. Choosing to go for the pull as the Weaver was rotating down to bottom, so this is gonna be... Oh, and as the catapult was here as well. Oh man, this is like a almost a free tier 1 for Inflame out of that. Very weird. Yeah, Super is just going to be going straight for the Deso. Sometimes when you see phase boots, people get the Blink Dagger first, but looks like Super's a Blink Deso, a phase boots Deso kind of guy. I would say that the treads are a little bit more common with the Desolator, but not a huge deal necessarily. Speed at least has a Sentry Ward here to help him get the D-wards off on the traps, so he won't just get straight up solo killed. And Brewmaster actually doing quite nicely in terms of Blink Dagger progress. 1k gold towards it. Inflame lagging behind just a little bit, but that's mostly because he's picked up a couple of extra items, completing the wand, and also getting those Tranquil Boots. DDR level 3. Is Afu still struggling? Well, at least he has his level 3 as well. And I think they would like this Death Prophet kill. I think they might need to rotate the Ancient Apparition forward as well, though. Shining, what's he going for? Pretty standard Weaver build-up. Get the Wand, get the Aquila. Gonna head into the Lincoln shortly after that. Dusa, also pretty standard stuff. Starting up the jungling perhaps a little bit earlier than normal. He's gonna be going for the Mask of Madness. Phase Boots being delivered right this second. And Rock already starting to stack up some Ancients for their Dusa. They're just the one stack up so far.
Dire's middle
Monet and
tower
Afu
is under attack.
want a dive on mid. They've got the Exorcism ready to go as well. They don't want DDR. They actually want speed, but they'd get both kills if they could. And the Boulder Smash actually connect onto both. Speed now slowed down. Afu rolls through. Great performance from this Earth Spirit. Whew. I don't know how the Dusa got caught by that Boulder Smash. Just wasn't paying attention or got slowed up by the TA trap. And now they're diving for more. They know that LT is back here. Afu once again with the connection. They try and slow him down with the Orb of Venom, but Monet instead wants to stick on the tower. They're going to take this tier 1. Super grabbing the last hit. Already has pretty much enough gold for his first Mithril Hammer. And LFY very much winning this early game. 2k net worth lead, 1k experience. Rock. They should be able to fire back with their first big ultimate on the Brewmaster. But looks like Yaha might be waiting for the Blink Dagger first. We'll have to see. Yao relishing in the opportunity to grab some farm down bottom, get some more levels. Definitely very important to get this level 6 nice and fast from the Dark Willow. And if they can get the level 6 quickly, they can also just give the Tome over to the Earth Spirit, which is nice. Brewmaster gonna get stunned. They don't want to use the Primal Split defensively. He's still got 10 wand charges and a Fairy Fire. I think he's going to be okay. But no, seeing that the Dark Willow does actually have, what, 3 points in the Shadow Realm? Yeah, forced to use it, and this is just a defensive ultimate doing absolutely nothing. Monet cops a tiny bit of harassment, but he's going to be fine. And needs to be a little bit careful with sending this Earth Panda back. At least healing up a little bit while he was in the
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Monet gets hit by the Cyclone one more time. But Super gonna start clearing an Ancient stack of his own. The other big thing about the TA versus the Medusa matchup is that if the enemy team is stacking Ancients for their Dusa, you can actually just go and steal those. So probably something that Super's going to be looking towards this game. He's already got another 1k gold towards his second Mithril Hammer, so this is going to be an insanely fast Deso. At the same time, Dusa has that, yeah, and the Mask of Madness coming along a little bit slowly. So I think they got to get this Weaver online. They've kind of missed their opportunity on the Brewmaster, but he will have his second split up in 70 seconds time, though that split is going to be very important that it actually gets a kill or gets them an objective. Otherwise, this could just be a repeat of game 1, where Rock take basically no towers and just get completely run over by LFY. Exorcism's already back off cooldown for Monet, so he would not mind popping that to kill the Brewmaster and then take the tier 1 tower. Afu maybe has that kind of ambition. He's level 6 now as well, so they got level 6 on both of their supports. Lots of teamfight impact ready. AA at the very least does have his 6. DDR only level 4 right now, so the LFY support's just doing that a little bit better. Brewmaster with an ultimate in 30 seconds.
Radiant's
So the
top
support's
tower
perhaps
is under
down here
attack.
a little bit early. I think they were hoping to bait the Brew, but LFY not interested. Just gonna go and tap that shrine. Waiting for Super's item. Hasn't shipped out the second Mithril Hammer just yet, interestingly. I guess he was just waiting for the courier to head back.
Quicker than I look.
Dire are scanning.
So for Rock, the most important thing is going to be if they can hold on to this tier 1 up top, but it's already down at 400 HP, so I think it's as good as dead. And Inflame also doing very well on this Batrider. The supports have been away trying to pressure the other lanes, and I mean, Weaver is good in this 1v1 matchup, but it seems like Inflame's been doing a pretty good job of maybe stacking the neutrals, farming up over there, and 12.5 minute blink is not too bad at all. Keyboard appears to be dying. I don't know why I couldn't move it there, but Afu getting caught out over on the high ground. Looks like they were just doing a little bit of warding, but the Rock supports were in the right area. Super with his Deso setting his sights on this top tower. Shining needing to be careful.
Radiant's middle tower is under
There's out the
attack.
swarm to try and get a little bit of scouting. Inflame's hunting for him. He's already used the blink though. And mid tower is being brought down by speed. So, I don't know, Rock finding a very successful trade actually out of
Dire's
this.
top tower
I think
is under
LFY have
attack.
overcommitted somewhat for this
Radiant
top tower.
structures
All 3
are
cores.
fortified. Radiant's middle tower is
The
under
Brew
attack.
does have his blink and his split, so he's anticipating that something might happen mid
Dire's top
as
tower
LFY
is
try to
falling.
defend, and it looks like he's right. Afu's gonna come rolling in. Can he find a good boulder smash onto anybody? He gets it on the Dusa. Dusa a little bit low on mana. Monet, is he gonna get caught by the cold feet? He is, and now Yaha comes in, claps him down, and Monet just instantly drops LFY, the rest of them a little bit too late to
Dire's top
arrive.
tower is under
Inflame
attack.
thinks about going in, does have the blink and the lasso ready to go, but just deciding that he can't actually get him back to the TA in time, and instead they just trade 1-for-1 towers and lose the Death Prophet absolutely for free. Monet thinking that he was a little bit tankier than he turned out to actually be. The AA doing quite a lot of damage at this point of the game. And the Deuce are not too bad either. And nicely done by the Brewmaster. I think they're... Like, if he'd been showing bottom at all, that would have been quite an easy fight for
Radiant's
LFY,
bottom
but
tower is under
kind of
attack.
making the more defensive play, thinking that, okay, there's still a chance that they're going to come and try and fight us here, and I need to be ready. Still managed to hold on to the Primal Split, so that should hopefully be a kill somewhere. Weaver had the Diffusal Blade queued up for a second there, but does instead opt to continue along the Lincoln's path, and LFY, they're going to get this tier 1 bottom before too long, but the next few minutes are going to be very important. Their cores have super high damage potential, but they're all relatively squishy, so if they're out of position even a little bit, they're just going to get blown up. So, gotta be careful. The Yules on Monet is going to help him out. Gonna get that delivered in a second. Afu
Dire's
chilling
bottom
behind
tower
Super.
is under
Is going to
attack.
end up probably breaking the smoke, but is Super going to be okay? They spot out a couple. Super considering jumping in here. Afu does actually get the roll off, but Snowball comes in on top of him. Brewmaster jumping in, trying to secure that. And now Super sees his opportunity, goes over onto LT. One more hit's going to do it. Can they keep him locked down in here? The Primal Split's going to get popped, and the boulder does actually catch him. There's no help coming over for Super, and he just gets finished off. Dusa does die over at mid though. Monet and Yao, along with Inflame,
Radiant's
find their
top tower
opportunity. They
is
blink
under
in, they
attack.
lasso, they use the Exorcism, and they do bring down the Medusa. But I think actually the bigger kill for Rock. Shining picking up that last hit on the Super, getting a bunch of
Dire's
gold,
structures are
getting a
fortified.
lot of acceleration towards his Lincoln Sphere, at which point he's going to be not completely
Radiant's
impossible to
top
deal
tower
with. They
is
can
under
still
attack.
like roll in, silence, and boulder
Dire's
smash him,
middle tower
and then
is
follow it
under
up with a
attack.
DP silence, and I think he will die, but much more difficult to lock down the Weaver at that point. And the Exorcism looks like not even going to manage to grab this mid-tier 2 tower. Snowball forward from DDR, but may have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Looks like it will still end up being a trade though. Shining turns up, grabs a mega kill streak.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Pet Rider getting close. Oh, actually, Inflame's doing really well in terms of farm.
Radiant's top tower
Almost
is
has his
under
blink.
attack.
Almost has his Force Staff. Gonna be useful for popping the Lincolns potentially on the Weaver. AA rushing a Rod of Atos. Getting there. Looks like Tusk not necessarily playing the 5 at the moment. Actually, both of the Rock supports a little bit ahead of the LFY supports at this stage of the game. Yao still trying to complete his urn at this stage, and is maxing the Bramble Maze as the secondary point. I think the Bramble Maze is going to be super annoying for the Weaver, so I like this decision. Medusa is also quite an immobile hero, so I think the Bramble Maze and the Terrorize are going to be super useful for kiting the Medusa around in fights and preventing her from doing too much with her net worth. So I'm not super worried for LFY if the game drags on a little bit. We got action down bottom. They're actually going for the Brewmaster kill. Can they find it? Nice and easy. Still 20 seconds to go until the Primal Split was off cooldown. And that's just another lasso gank. LFY snowballing behind Super on the Templar Assassin. He's got his BKB queued up. They do see DDR running over on this Observer Ward, so may also be able to go and grab him. Dusa TPing in, somewhat coldly perhaps. Is relatively tanky, and they do have the Weaver pushing out top lane. just going to try and stall this out as best they can. Brewmaster coming back up in 3 seconds time with a primal split, and looks like that is going to be LFY's cue to split. Heading back over here. Do they have a smoke? Looks like they do not. Fortunately, this observer ward just fading.
The shuttle flies.
Shining looking for something, but not going to find it, and Speed just sets his sights on this
Radiant's
bottom tier
bottom
1.
tower
Already has
is
his
under
Dragonlance
attack.
picked up, so able to outrange it. And getting in there pretty quickly, but they know that the Medusa TP down bottom, so LFY set their sights on Roshan. They're going to use the Exorcism. They want to take this extremely quickly, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. Brewmaster needs to get the split off, has to be cautious of the silence. DDR might be able to save him with the snowball. Super now being focused. Ice Blast getting thrown over towards the Death Prophet, and she will get caught. Monet in big trouble. Shining also arriving. Looks like both of LFY's cores are going to die, and they're going to lose the Roche. Oh no, Super buying back into the game, but it's already too late. Rock claim the Roshan. They get the last hit. They get the Aegis. It's over on their Medusa. And now they can just run forward and do even more. Shining misses completely on the swarm, but don't think it matters too much. They've even managed to find Inflame over on the high ground. Firefly keeping him safe a little bit. Afu committing somewhat. Super getting slowed down, does still have the blink. Shining chasing for more. Yao has the Shadow Realm, should be okay. And LFY just kind of kite and reset this fight. That was not good. That was, I guess they just tried to sneak it. They didn't have anybody else nearby. I don't know where Yao was. Like, if Yao just drops a Terrorize as they're trying to go on everybody, maybe they can finish the Roche or they can turn the fight. But the fact that it was just the 2 cores, and now that Super's bought back, looks like maybe Rock just gonna take over this game. I still think they can deal with the Dusa reasonably well, but this Death Prophet is not snowballing. Nope. Inflame still doing his best. Doesn't want to use the lasso, but looks like he will be forced to commit it here. They're going to drag it over to Monet. Weaver getting stunned up on the TP in. LT still pretty tanky. Shining, dropping fairly low. Snowball onto Monet. I don't know why he still has the indicator there. Dusa being silent. Just going to force that forward and keep on right-clicking. Monet not survivable enough. Super also committing pretty hard, but now he's just getting right-clicked from the tree line. They've also got the Stone Gaze being popped. Terrorize is going to lock down the Brewmaster for a second, but it doesn't really matter. Afu also going to drop. Can they chase down Inflame? That's the question. Swarm not going to connect. Shining still chasing for this kill, though. He's got the time lapse. He's got 17 wand charges, and they do get the slowdown. Still pretty good Firefly duration for Inflame, and gets the blink back up. But another terrible fight as they lose Super once again. Templar Assassin not... Oh, TA is not snowballing anymore. The Death Prophet definitely not snowballing anymore. Monet even risking his life to shove out a few more waves over at mid. Almost gets Ice Blasted down.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Alright, Inflame gonna come down here. Primal Split is ready to go. Speed cops a tiny bit of harassment, but it's gonna be fine. They're gonna lasso up the Medusa, but she's still got the Aegis. I don't know about this LFY. Boulder Smash coming in, but they actually catch 2 with the stun from the Tusk, and now the punch sends Inflame skyward. Medusa's gonna be back soon. The Ice Blast connects. They've lost 2. Monet's dead once again. Batrider also down. They get the catch on the Dark Willow. Does have Shadow Realm to be able to get up into the base. But Super's the one who needs to be careful, and Shining's actually just going to dive deep for this. Drops the Swarm down onto a couple. Yaha gets the clap out onto 3. Afu just getting right-click down. Shining with the double kill. Can he finish Afu inside of his own fountain? Looks like he might be able to. The Geminate attack is enough. Shining still just diving. He's got the time-lapse going toe-to-toe with Super. On the other side of the fight, Speed is just focusing onto the tier 3, and with the Desolator, they're going to make pretty quick work of it. There are buybacks available on LFY, but I guess Afu just doesn't feel like they can do enough. They don't have the Glyph either. And LFY just gonna let them have this tier 3 tower. It looks like maybe even let them have their axe. Super, what can he really do? He's throwing down a couple of traps, but too much damage. 22-minute lane of racks from the team with a Medusa. Oh my god, LFY just in complete disarray. I guess at this point,
Radiant's bottom shrine
Rock
is under
are
attack.
so happy. They're like, we're doing it. We got stomped in game 1, and we're doing it.
Radiant
I mean, Super's
are
BKB
standing.
is still a while away.
Radiant's bottom
LFY
shrine
playing
is
for this
under
double
attack.
BKB timing, but I don't really know what's gonna change. The physical damage from Rock is
Radiant's bottom
scaling,
shrine
scaling,
has
scaling.
fallen.
They're going for this kill on the Medusa once again, but I think Inflame may have just run into his own death. Can he burn down speed? Nope. Shining turns up. A few more right clicks. LT secures the last hit. What is Inflame just going for that solo kill? I don't know. LFY are falling apart before our very eyes. Like, nobody's really moving as a team anymore. I mean, Alpha's doing a little bit of dewarding, but they just seem lost. DDR is going to have a Spirit Vessel before too long. Very annoying for the Death Prophet. Also annoying for the Templar Assassin. What's Shining going for? Just straight rushing MKB. Oh my god, the damage output from this Weaver is going to be insane. I didn't even think the Weaver was going to be that good of a pick this game. Like, he didn't even win the lane that hard, but Shining has just been everywhere. He's 9-0 and 3. Picked up a bunch of kills on these sort of squishier LFY heroes. And isn't really getting locked down at all. Brewmaster's got an Aeon disc now, so he's pretty much impossible to burst. Has a Primal Split that he is itching to use. Speed already going to start wailing away at this tier
Radiant's
2, making
middle
very
tower
quick
is
work
under
of it.
attack.
And Rock, they're up on the high ground. They popped down an Observer Ward. I think they are going to spot LFY. Maybe they can get Elastic down to the low ground. If they could kill the Brewmaster, that would be huge, but he's just forced to force staff himself back. Monet does have the BKB. He's got the ultimate, but he gets punched up. Can they actually disengage from this fight? They might be able to. They only get the lasso onto the Tusk. Shining going to consider re-engaging. Brewmaster did pop the Primal Split, so Rock also committing a little bit to this fight, but if they can just burst the Death Prophet, that would be huge. Monet saves himself a little bit of damage with the Yule Scepter, but Speed just moves forward. He has already popped the Mask of Madness, so unable to use his ultimate just yet, but the right clicks are more than enough. Monet hits the deck. Inflame also in trouble. Speed still pressing forward into the base, dropping a little bit low on mana. Yaha catches a 2-man clap, and Shining is already in there, looking towards Yao. Does have the Shadow Realm. He's going to be okay. Buyback out of Inflame. Get the root onto the Weaver. Can they burst him down in time? He's already used the time lapse. LT doing a good job with his Rod of Atos, opening up the space. Super now laying in with the auto attacks, but Yaha's back into the fight once again with the right clicks, and he's going to be brought down once more. The Drunken Haze too strong. Super is already done. He's going to call the GG and just disconnect. I think he was done from the moment that they lost that Roshan. And with that, Rock Gaming eliminate LGD.Forever Young from the StarLadder I-League Season 5 China qualifiers. They were the outside hope. They were the third place team in the open qualifiers. And they're the only open qualifier team still left. Everybody else is already eliminated. So with that, Rock are going to be moving forward into the next round. They're going to be playing up against the winner of our next match, which is LGD versus eHome. And man, they played really well. I don't know. LFY looked... It looked like maybe they were a little bit tilted after the second game. Like, they won the first game so easily. I think they went into the second game thinking, oh yeah, we're just going to roll these guys. No problem. We'll just pick whatever. What do you want to play? And then Rock put together a great draft. And then here in this third game, I don't know. I feel like it was LFY with the much weaker draft. Rock... I don't even know if they played all that impressively. They just they stopped that one Roshan, and that was kind of the end of the entire game. Shining did really well. Yao, I mean, did all right on the Dark Willow, but we didn't really get to see that much of the two LFY supports this game. Inflame was trying his best. I think he even had really good farm, but they just couldn't quite seem to stick the cores together in a way that worked. Super, they snap picked the Templar Assassin into the Medusa. It kind of won the lane initially, but I'm not even sure if TA is that good of like an overall game hero against Medusa. She pops that Stone Gaze, and what can you do in a team fight? You kind of have to run away. And for a hero that's so built around the idea of, okay, I'm going to get into the fight and I'm going to blow somebody up, that's a really difficult thing to deal with. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for our first series. I think we have about a 35-minute break until the scheduled start time of the next one. I'll just confirm that right now before I say anything too stupid. Yeah, all right. So the next game's start time is going to be in about 40 minutes. I don't know if they're going to try and push it forward at all. It is an online event, so I would guess that it's just going to start at the scheduled time. That's going to be LGD Gaming versus eHome. Promises to be quite a good series. I thought this one was going to be like a 2-0 stomp, 40 minutes, third place open qualifier team, but it seems like LFY, those problems run fairly deep, and I don't know what's going to change at this point, because this was not a good look for them. There's still other qualifiers going on. I don't know what their status is in any of the other qualifiers that are happening right now, so maybe they can still put themselves together, but this team just seems really fragile. When things are going well, it's fine, but then if Monet or Super start to have a bad game, it just seems like everything completely falls apart. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. We're going to head to a break. I'll leave the stream up, so I guess if anybody wants to hang around and chat, please feel free, and I will catch you guys in about 35 minutes for LGD Gaming versus eHome. See you then.